Today, 42 Albanians, including 32 convicted criminals, were successfully deported to their home country in a big win for the government. Still not many, though, is it? However, over 100,000 illegal migrants still need emergency accommodation, and the Home Office is now suggesting housing them on cruise ships. Quizzed in a Justice and Home Affairs Committee, Home Secretary Suella Braverman refused to deny that plans were afoot to house asylum seekers on luxury vessels.
As well as the holiday parks and so on, surplus military sites that you're looking at. But there was mention of cruise ships. I think it would be helpful just to know whether that is on your cruise ships. Disused cruise ships are on your list.
When you talk about vessels, I would just say, and all I can say because we are in discussions with a wide variety of providers, that everything is still on the table and nothing is excluded.
Thank you.
Now, this would help to ease the crippling pressure on many British towns and cities to house the wave of migrants arriving on our shores. But, Nana, hello, lovely, and looking gorgeous as ever. Welcome this evening, good to talk to you. But, Nana, the people coming from the terrible conditions of Calais really need or deserve the luxury of a cruise ship. Or does crossing the Channel remain an appealing option under this plan? I mean, it's a cruise ship. My mum goes on cruises. She loves cruises. Is this a good idea?
Well, do you know what? I think that Suella was watching my show about 3 or 4 weeks ago when we actually posed that question to our viewers and listeners. And it turns out that it's not a bad idea at all. Look, I don't see what's wrong with it at all. It's a brilliant idea. First of all, it would be a form of offshore processing. This is something that people have been arguing for and fighting for. So instead of being on somebody else's land, so for example, France, you'd have to negotiate with them. You could actually do it from the Channel. So migrants don't actually land in the UK. So there's no way they can abscond and run away because that is happening. Whether we like it or not, we're saying that it's 45,000 or so have arrived this year. That is probably the tip of a massive iceberg. And what are our options? We're offering housing them in barracks and places like that, and literally disturbing the local ecosystems and the populations that are there. And the people aren't happy with this. So I think it's a brilliant idea. What's wrong with the cruise ship?
Well, I mean, Suella also said that, the asylum system costs are set to spiral to £3.5 billion next year. Yeah. Now, Nana, can you ever imagine in our wildest dreams that we would ever be discussing? I mean, the current cost £7 million a day in hotels. Can you imagine in your wildest dreams that we'd ever be talking about this money like it was like, oh, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, and we're the muggins that are paying for this, right? So we're going to have to stuff this up. In the meantime, our troops, military who live in some of the army barracks are living in substandard accommodation. Yeah. Turns out that some of those people managing that accommodation seem somewhat, well, I mean, I'm not going to say because obviously we don't know, but some of those people who are looking after that accommodation don't appear to be putting the money in the right places because it certainly isn't getting better, living in mouldy accommodation. And it's just, you would pay for a hotel, you would pay for a cruise ship. These people should go on these things. We can process them. And if need be, send them exactly back where they come from, back to France, which isn't all that bad, or perhaps to another destination.